Rita, I remember 4 days ago you promised to show me your family album and tell me about your family.
Oh, yes. So, look, this is my grandmother and grandfather. They are my mother's. They are from Astrakhan. My grandmother was an accountant, and my grandmother was a ship captain. They spent uh, on a ship, and my little mother there and communicated with sailors. According to her stories, it was about your grandparents.
So, as you know, my roots didn't start in Russia, but a little bit later. So, my grandfather, I don't know and have never seen him, but I know that he was an artist and paint very beautiful. So, and this passed on to my father and my little sister. So, my grandmother worked in open places. So, for some time, they lived in Uzbekistan.
It's story. Um, my father's parents, my father's parents is differ. My grandfather is from Bulgaria, and grandmother is Russian. They met each other in the and um, Bulgaria is that country um, from which my came from. So uh, my parents unfortunately died before I was born, but I imagine their appearance in my mind. Please tell me your mother's parents.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think it's hard to live without grandparents. The story of my relatives on my mother's side is very interesting. The ancestors are Germans, but they grew in Kazakhstan and then again to Germany. So this very complicated story and this connect with the World War II. So my grandmother met my grandfather in a hospital. My grandfather had a groom, but they fell in love and years. So my grandfather is a very busy person. He has his own business, and my grandmother works as a nurse. So and oh, and your parents are in these pictures. Tell me about them.
My parents met in a student dorm. They noticed my mom in a party, and then he to his room, to her room with a guitar, and they started to communicate. My mother had uh, the long curly hair, a beautiful figure with a thin waist. Also, she is green-eyed, small, and chubby. She looked lovely. Father, he had completely different appearance. He was muscular. He had short hair and blue. And how did your parents meet?
Oh, and this is a very funny situation. So my mother had already moved to Germany when they meet, and my dad came to Germany to make friends and his bride. They met my mom at a celebration. I don't remember whom. So my mom and Alpha already on the third day. I think that's very romantic. So, what kind of character do your parents have?
Uh, your story cute. As for my parents' characters, my mother is smart, sincere, careful, and sometimes impulsive. My father is smart, broad-minded, but stubborn, and they were arguing because of practice for a long time. So when I was 7, they divorced. Uh, so what of temper do your parents have?
Oh, I already admire my parents' relationship. They are so different, but always together. And they often swear, I think that's typical for all families. So, but after 5 minutes, they are together on the couch. That's very cute. So, my mother is easygoing and wise, always able to give advice, and my father has a strong character. Do you look more like your mom or your dad?
My relatives think I look like my dad. Our eyes same color and lips, brows, and structure of hair I like. And what about you?
Oh, everyone tells me I look like my dad too. So, do you have traditions in your family?
Yes, of course, but not many. I meet with my relatives now because um, the most of them live in Moscow. Every summer, my mom and I go to Moscow and we meet the sister, my aunt, and uncle, and two my cousins. We get together, have dinner, and play many table games like Imaginarium, Eki Woki, and uh, so on. We have fun. Do you have family traditions?
Of course, I think every family have traditions. So, every December on the 31st, we gather with the whole family at my grandmother's or at 4 o'clock and exchange gifts. So, we always have a table set and music playing.
Wow, it's so cool.
Okay, so let's have lunch. Thank you for sharing your story with me.